So let's get started. Hello to everyone. Hello to everyone who are joining us now and to everyone who is watching the recording. Thank you for being here. Thanks for your time and for your interest in today's topic. My name is Marina. I'm a part of our SheStack team, and I'm really happy to be a moderator of our today's webinar. I realized that all the topics we highlight at our community meetings, they are crucial actually, and they aligned with many of my requests or questions I would like to discuss, and I hope you feel the same. After analyzing and after visiting our webinars. And also, I think the end of the year, December actually, is absolutely the perfect time to talk about career growth, about our plans, our strategies, for it. That's why the topic of our meetings feels incredibly relevant, and I'm sure today's session will be helpful for all of us. So please feel free to share your thoughts and questions in the chat during our today's session. Let me introduce you our speaker, meet Anna Sampaio, a London-based Senior Frontend Engineer from Portugal. Anna also is passionate about career growth, about mentorship, and also about building an inclusive tech community. And today, she will share with us her insights, and we will talk with you about how to plan our career, how get some useful feedback, how build influence, and how build our self brand, and how use communication to grow faster in our job. And before we start, as a tradition, I would like to quickly talk about our SheStack conference and our SheStack hub. I know some of you already know about this, but for those who are new, I'll share a short intro. And please, while I'm doing this, support our tradition, and tap your name and where are you joining from in the chat. It's always fun to see where everyone is from, and it's also kind of a great chance for you to make new connections, and find some like-minded people here. Now, a few words about SheStack. So far we hosted 2 conferences. The last one was in October. I still can't believe it's already been almost 2 months. Together, our 2 conferences brought more than 6,000 attendees and 100 speakers from around the world. And our main focus is supporting women in tech, and also promoting gender equality. And also we created the SheStack Hub. It's our community, to connect and to inspire women in tech. And also in this hub, you can follow different events, discuss some industry trends. Also, you can share your experience and make some connections. So we will share the link with you in the chat, and feel free to join us if you haven't already. That's all for the intro part, and I hope I didn't miss anything important, but if I did, I will let you know later. Now I pass the mic to our speaker, Anna. Wish you a smooth and inspiring presentation and great hour ahead. The stage is all yours.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Marina, for this introduction. And thank you so much for the beautiful work that you do in the SheStack community. I'm really proud to be here with you today. And I'm going to talk about something that I'm really passionate about, which is career growth. So I can't wait to share with you all my learnings after 12 years of being a software engineer. And I'll give you some actionable tips on how I evolved my career and how can you do it too. I have some slides, so I'll start sharing my screen. And I hope that you can see it.
Yeah, we can.
Excellent. So as Marina said, my name is Anna Sampaio, and I'm here to talk about how can you take control of your path for your career growth. Just before we dive into, I'm going to just quickly talk about my background. So I'm Anna, and I'm a senior software engineer based in London, originally from Portugal. And I'm really passionate about mentorship and career growth. I work with other engineers to help them, empower them to excel in their roles. And I'm a really advocate for inclusive and supportive environments, just like this one. And over my career, I've been lucky enough to work for organizations that had really strong branding strategies. So this is since 2016 until my current role today at Rightmove. Now, I would like to do a quick check-in with all of you. These are some ice-breaking questions that I prepared, and I would love you to reflect on them. So my first question for you is, when did you last talk about your career growth? Was it recently? Or was it a long time ago? And when did you last do something for your personal development? Recently or quite a long time ago? Well, if you joined today, it feels like you can tick this box because this is something for your personal development. Then do you know what's your next career step? Yes or no? Do you know what's needed for a promotion at your company? Yes or no? And are your contributions visible, especially for key decision makers at your organization? Yes or no? So why are we having this conversation today? Why I feel that this matters? Well, because over the years, I learned the hard way that if I ever wanted to get a promotion or even a raise, I would have to ask for it. I thought I could just sit and wait because my manager will see the excellent work that I do. And then they would come to me and say, hey, Anna, I really like your work. Here is your promotion. It just doesn't work like that. It doesn't. You have to be the one initiating the conversation. This means that you need to take control of your career. So today we'll be talking about how can you take charge of your career? How can you create your own opportunities that are aligned with your career aspirations? How can you stand out in your organization, be visible, and get recognition for the amazing work that you do? We have a challenging agenda, but hopefully we'll be able to run through everything. So we'll be starting with goals, the importance of setting clear goals. Then we will be talking about the ingredients that we need to get to the next level. We'll be talking about confidence, visibility, reputation, opportunities, self-promotion, network, feedback, then preparing your one-to-ones, your promotion, and your new habits, maybe for 2025. So let's dive in. And the very first thing that needs to be clear in your mind is, where do you want to go? Where's your destination? Do you want to become senior at your current role? Do you want a new role? Do you want just a raise? what's there for you? What's the next step for you? That's the first thing that you need to be clear on, because from there, everything will start to, you'll start working around it. So my first recommendation for you is to set those goals in manageable steps, small steps that can get you there. One common framework that people use to set goals is the SMART framework. That means specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bounded. This is what a good goal is. Your goals should also be aligned with your company and your team. That will make much easier for you to, one, complete them, and second, to have more impact. And as I mentioned before, if you want to have those goals, your goals will guide you. Everything goes from there. The projects that you start doing, the decisions that you make, the relationships that you start creating will be influenced by your goals and your aspirations. Right. So once you get those goals set, then you want to communicate them. You want to tell everybody, like literally. The first person that needs to know about your goals, and they will probably help you create this personal roadmap for you, is your manager. From my experience, I set new goals every 6 months, and my manager has a big influence in what these are. And I revisit them every one-to-one or very regularly. But having your manager knowing about them is not enough. We want to talk about our goals with our teammates, our friends, because people can't help if they don't know. You want to track your goals regularly. You want to celebrate small wins. If you manage to get a small goal finished, celebrate it, even if it's just a quick celebration with yourself. A good glass of wine, maybe nice sushi, up to you, whatever you like to celebrate. And stay flexible. Sometimes things just don't go as planned, and we might have this nice set of goals that feels really achievable, but then something happens. You have to move teams. You have a new manager. There are so many things that you can't control. And then your goals just can't be achievable. Well, in that case, you really have to be open to change them, and that's okay, as long as that doesn't affect your end goal, which is the promotion, the new role, the seniority, whatever it is. Losers have goals, winners have systems. We are winners, so we have not only goals, but systems in place. And I'm going to share with you what I use for my goals at work. And maybe this can inspire you to start using it if you don't follow a specific system or framework. So this is what I call the objectives framework. And this has been shared with me by my manager, and I really liked it, and I keep using it even after I change the managers. The first question that I try to answer is, what do I want to do? What is the outcome? I'm going to give you an example shortly. Then I want to ask myself, what do I have to do to achieve the outcome? How am I going to get there? What are the support and resources that I need? What's the target date to review? Typically, the target date to finish would be 6 months, but this one is to review. You want to review often to track your progress. And then at the end, you might want to try and ask yourself, did I achieve this, and how did I do it? So a personal example here is this one. I had recently the goal to empower my team members. In this case, this is a team objective. What do I have to do? Well, I have to encourage and support my teammates to take ownership of different initiatives. How am I going to get there? Well, I could help person A or encourage person A to lead a certain initiative and person B running this activity. Target day or the target day to review, and how did I achieve it? With feedback. So I asked my teammates, do you feel supported by me? Do you feel like I am able to encourage you to take risks? How can I support you more? And by asking these questions, I could understand if I was able to get this objective done or not. Now, a big red flag here is I have specific people here on my objective. So I'm constraining my objectives to some specific people. This is quite a tricky one, but I think it's important to keep in mind that you have to be flexible and open to change, as I mentioned before. So if person A leaves the company, then person C you have to think about how can you help person C instead. But your goal of empowering your team members will still be achievable, even though someone moved teams or I've left the company. I typically have at least one team objective, one community or company objective, and one personal objective. And I suggest you to do the same if it makes sense for you. So now let's start with the first ingredient for getting to the next step of our career, and it's confidence. And may our confidence upset them. This is actually a quote from a confidence program that I did a couple of years ago. There's a QR code if you'd like to scan it to know more about it. And I recommend it for you to do it if you feel like you really need to work on your confidence. Now, confidence is the foundation for your career growth. We all feel the imposter syndrome. We all feel self-doubt. We might not believe in ourselves at some point. That will always be there, right? But it's the way you manage these feelings that can change. And that's what I think confidence is. Confidence is not about knowing everything, but it's about knowing that even though you don't know, you will figure it out. So it's trusting yourself, trusting in your ability, and believing in yourself. And confidence comes from competence. You probably have realized this, that when you're very good at something, you've been doing something for a while, you're just very good or talented, you feel naturally confident about it, don't you? So to get that confidence, you might need to work on competence and get good at something that you think is important, but it takes time. Remember that getting good at something takes time. So we have to be patient as you go. But in order to increase our confidence in 2025, I would like you to reflect on something. Close your eyes if you can, if you're in a safe space. If you want to close your eyes, if you feel comfortable for that. Because I would like to think about what's the one skill you would like to improve in 2025. What's the skill, one skill, that's only one that you can choose, that if you work on it, that will propel you forward. You will propel your career. So what is it? Is it communication? Is it leadership? Is it a technical skill? Is it marketing? Is it a programming language, a framework? What is it? Think about it. Even write it down if you can, so you don't forget. And if you're feeling brave, share it in the chat, because you might inspire someone.
We have the first comment from Monica, assertiveness. So Monica, share it with us in the chat.
And what is it?
Assertiveness.
Yep, being assertive. I might have a slide right after this that might help with being assertive. And I can share with you that one skill that I felt like I needed to work on was communication. That happened around 2 years ago. And in order to improve my communication, I decided to join Toastmasters, which is an organization for public speaking. And because I had to communicate on a regular basis, and I met so many different people that were so much better than me at communicating, I learned so much from them. So one for you to take it away and consider. Right, so let's move on. I hope that you got your one skill. Write it down, work on it. Next year, you'll see you'll make the whole difference. Now, a way for us to be perceived as more confident and maybe assertive is to tweak our language. Especially women, we tend to be very kind and nice and friendly to others. We don't want to offend anyone, but sometimes we might be perceived as something that is not assertive or something that less confident, let's put it this way. And that's not what we want. So I challenge you to start working or observing the language that you use and the sentences that you use, and think, does this sound confident or not really? For example, we use a lot of sorry. Sorry to bother you. Sorry if this is a silly question. Don't apologize. Don't apologize. Sorry to bother you. Instead, you can say, when you have a moment. Or sorry if this is a silly question. I have a question. You don't have to apologize. You also want to avoid things like, I'm not an expert, but here is my perspective. Doesn't sound much more confident. There's more. And I've been using this a lot. Does that make sense? I say something, does that make sense? Well, you assume that it makes sense. And you just say, let me know if you have any questions. Or you want to say, I might be wrong, but this doesn't sound very confident. I might be wrong. Here is what I understand. This is probably a bad idea. One approach we could consider is, and hopefully this works. You might want to say, this approach should work. This will sound much more confident in what you're saying. Then one trick that I think it makes your communication a bit more powerful is the filler words, and do more pausing. And this is something that I learned by talking and communicating, is the as we are elaborating a sentence and explaining our point of view, if we say too much and ums, it can be a bit distracting. Instead, practice the pause. This is very difficult, very tricky, but it will change. It will be a game changer. Game changer. And when someone compliments you, say thank you. Don't say, oh, it was nothing. Oh, you did great on that meeting. Ah, it was nothing. Thank you. Just accept it. Take it on. Own it. It's yours. The compliment is yours. Just say thank you and move on. So my challenge for you is to reduce one expression, eliminate one of these expressions. So share it in the chat. Which one would you like to just take it off from your language? Which one do you just like? You use it too much, and that's enough. I think for me is the sorry. Just don't apologize.
Maybe let's wait for 30 seconds for the comments, because we have this delay between the translation on YouTube and our session with you. So maybe our participants will share and I will read the comments in the chat. So feel free to share. And I will maybe read some previous comments, like after the assertiveness, we got personal branding, creative thinking, relationship building, technical skill, advanced React. So, and for this point, we have the comment from Lesia. Oh, it was nothing.
Yeah, it was nothing. And for your one skill, knowing what's the skill you want to work on is very important. But the next step would be, how can I get there? How can I get there? Is it a course that you might need to do? Or is it some mentoring? What is it? So my challenge for you is also to think about, what can I take you there? I'm going to move on because I have so much information to share with you. And the next ingredient to take you to the next level would be to start being visible. And you have to put yourself on the spotlight occasionally in order for you to be seen. One easy win would be just start speaking up in meetings. If you are invited to the meetings, because you matter. So just make sure that you say something, that you are able to contribute. And Oprah is not happy if it has been 45 minutes and you weren't able to get a word in. Another thing that you can do to be more visible is to share what you know. If you learn something, then just share it, just like what I'm doing now. And you can also share your achievements with your team, with your managers. A study shows that only 1 in 2 employees feel that managers make sure they get credit for their work. And when you make others feel visible, you will be visible for them. So when you make others feel visible, you will be visible for them. For example, make sure that you celebrate their contributions. So next time, they will celebrate yours. And this is a good segue for caring about others. Say hi, say good morning, say goodbye. This is important. Be approachable, be friendly, nurture the people in your team, make them feel important. Let's say that someone goes on holiday. When they come back, catch up with them, ask them how the holidays were, and catch up on what they've missed. They will appreciate it, because we all know when we come back from holiday, we even forget what is our name, what's our password, we don't know anything. So catch up with them, they will appreciate it. Celebrate birthdays and personal achievements, and watch for negativity. Maybe avoid gossiping, bullying, excessive complainers. Just get away from them. If you are one of them, don't be. Now, you want to start building up your reputation. You are a bit more confident now. You are more visible. You want to start building up your reputation. You want to start to becoming the go-to person for other people. The person that solves the problems. The person that doesn't know everything because there are more senior people in the team, but they are too busy. And you are there, ready to help, ready to figure it out with them. And when you help them once and twice, they will start trusting you and they will come back to you. So becoming the go-to person is key for you to build up your reputation and get even more visibility. Now, this doesn't mean you want to let people take advantage of you. That's not the goal, but be available to help everyone around you. That will pay off. You also want to consider creating your own opportunities, because if you just wait for opportunities, you are leaving your growth in someone else's hands. You want to take control of the things that you do. And that might mean creating your own opportunities. I'll give you examples of opportunities I created. But you want to reflect on the problems that your team has or your organization has. What's the problem that your team is trying to solve? Is it a delivery? Is it communication? Is it collaboration? Is it silos of information? People are not talking to each other. What's wrong? Think about it and then try to propose solutions. Find gaps and throw ideas to the wall and see what happens. You also want to be proactive. You don't have to wait for permission. You might want to ask your manager or some teammates you trust for validity. I have this idea. What do you think? You can check with them what they think. That will help you to get more confidence. But just do it. Just try it out. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. What the worst it can do? It's better if you do something that doesn't work, that you just don't do nothing. And you want to start volunteering to do things that you don't know how to do. Get off your comfort zone. Push your boundaries. This is scary. If you raise your hand for presenting in front of the whole company, it's scaring. But when you come from the other side, when you overcome it, you will feel great. And that's how we grow. After feeling scared, but making it, that's when we really grow. So just do it. There's this book, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, that I really recommend to you. Everyone feels fear, but that doesn't mean that that the fear shouldn't stop you, essentially. So you have a QR code here for the book if you're interested. And I'm going to give you examples of opportunities I created in my own organization. And these were beyond my team. This had a more impact in the whole engineering team. So the first thing that I created was initiative, an activity called Presentation Skills Meetup that I co-organized. I don't do this on my own. I don't do anything on my own. And this is for people to enhance their presentation skills. So just a meetup once a month where we practice our presentations. Then another initiative I created is the tech podcast in my organization. So I proposed the idea and I got some colleagues onboarded, and off we went, and we started this tech podcast to showcase the tech excellency at our organization. And finally, I also brought to the organization a workshop called I Am Remarkable. I don't know if you've heard about it or not. I recommend it to you if you haven't heard. And this is all about promoting inclusivity and confidence and general well-being. So this is a workshop that can really motivate people as well as promote this inclusivity. And our HR team was very keen on these activities. So it was well accepted. So these are examples of initiatives that I brought to my company. And well, you can do it too. You can use this as inspiration, but bring your own, see what you want to work on. For example, communication, presentation skills. So try and create the opportunities that are aligned with where you want to go. Now, let's talk about self-promotion. And this ties really well into this I Am Remarkable workshop that I mentioned. I have a QR code here for you to book your workshop if you are interested, because this workshop is also about self-promotion. It really changed the way I see it. Before, I used to think that self-promotion is all about bragging, and I don't want to do it. But self-promotion is just about communicating the good things that you do, or the things, your achievements. Your hard work can easily be unnoticed. So you have to communicate it. You have to tell others the amazing things that you do. If you're waiting for people to see it, good luck. You better tell them. Does your manager know the things that you do? He needs to, or she needs to. A challenge: keep a wins journal or a brag document, a brag book, whatever you want to call it. Keep this journal to track your achievements on a weekly basis, at least. Every week, you should reflect on your wins and write it down. You want to write it down, what you did, and perhaps what was the impact in yourself and in the other people. A study shows that 82% of people hide successes to a loved one, a coworker, or a stranger to avoid bragging. Why? Why are we scared to be perceived as we are bragging? Well, if you achieved it, why you want to hide it? Why do you want to talk about it? So book your I Am Remarkable workshop, because it will definitely change the way you think about self-promotion. And trust me, if you talk about your achievements, you start to become way more visible, because everyone is too busy. So no one is really looking at the things that you do unless you talk about them. Now I have another challenge for you, another moment, a practical exercise. I would like you to take a pen and paper, or you can do it on your laptop too. Let's start this wins journal. Let's start this bragging document. And I would like you to complete this sentence. I am remarkable because. Write down the things that make you remarkable. I am remarkable because. And it can be very small things, very little wins that you recently have done. You can go to the past as well. It can be professional, it can be personal. It can be, I am remarkable because I'm an amazing mom, amazing sister, amazing teammate. I'm remarkable because I'm doing this presentation. Write it down. Why are you, the things that you've done, your achievements. And if you're feeling brave enough, share one in the chat. I know this is stretching the boundaries. It might be very difficult for you to even write it down. But if you feel confident to do it, share it in the chat because you will inspire others. I'm going to move on, but I would like you to keep going. After this, you can keep going and try to do this exercise frequently because you need to also remind yourself of the great things that you do. And this will really help with your confidence. Okay. Now you are more confident, you're visible, you are the go-to person. This is when you start building up your network, and this happens sort of naturally. But I would like you to think about who's in your network within your company. Do you know everybody? Or do you just know your team? Or you know a few people from other teams? How does your network look like in your company? Ideally, you want to surround yourself with people that uplift you and inspire you. And ideally, you know who are the people who can influence your ability to get promoted. Who are these stakeholders that one day, if everyone is at the table, all the decision makers are in a table and they say, Anna wants to be promoted, should we promote her or not? They will all say yes, because they all supporters of yourself, because they know the work that you do. They know the impact that you have in your team and on the people around you. So they will say, yes, they will be your supporters. So know these people and have a chat with them if you can. If you listen to their problems and try to help them, that's fantastic. You will get their support like 100%. I know that sometimes this is difficult to achieve, but if you are in a flat organization or more of smaller organization, you might have access to these people. Talk to them and understand their problems and try and give them ideas to solve their problems. Why not? When you show up for others, they will show up for you. So when you help others, they will feel grateful, and one day they will help you as well. It's a good synergy. So once you look into your network at your organization, you want to also look at your network outside your organization, beyond the office, how your network look like. Because ideally you have people around you who you can learn from, maybe people who you admire. You want to ask them, hey, how did you get really good at this? How did you get really good with React? Is this because you did a course? Most likely. Is it because you were maybe learning advanced concepts whilst everyone was just doing the day-to-day work? Potentially. And you also want to have a safety net. So if you lose your job tomorrow, who can you ask for help? And I'd like for you to reflect on this. Write it down if you can. Write the name names or people or groups who would you reach out if you lose your job and you need help? Who are these people that you will look for help? Friends? Family? Your LinkedIn network? Who else? Do you have a mentor? So I'll leave you with that for you to reflect. And ideally, you want to be visible so you can also expand your network. Now, as you continue growing, you also want to understand how you're doing and how others perceive you. This is when feedback comes. You want to understand how people see you and how your work is impacting them. So feedback, especially constructive feedback, really accelerates your growth. So you want to ask for feedback on a regular basis. Ask your teammates, ask your managers, ask your mentors. In my company, maybe in your company too, we need to ask feedback to our teammates on a regular basis. And if you don't have anything in place, just do your thing. Just ask them. You finish hosting a meeting, you can ask, hey, how did I do? And you'll get their opinions. If you want really honest insights, ask feedback anonymously. Ask people to fill in this form on an anonymous basis. Most likely feedback will come a little bit more raw and honest. Tailor your questions. When you ask for feedback, ask specific questions to make sure that you manage to achieve your goals. Just like in the beginning, when I was trying to empower my teammates and I asked them, do you feel like I empower you? Do you feel like you have the support you need from me? How can I help you more? You obviously want to select the feedback according to your goals. And the positive feedback that you receive, add it to your wins journal to remind yourself of the great things that you did and how you impacted others. Do the best you can until you know better. Then, when you know better, do better. So we've just navigated through ways others can help you. Now we are going to take everything that we've learned from others, pull up our sleeves, and just do some work. The first thing, some homework that we need to do is preparing our one-to-ones. We don't want to get to our one-to-one with our manager completely unprepared. We might want to prepare it with the following. You want to think about 2 wins from the past week, 2 achievements, it can be little things that you accomplished. Have that ready to share with them. 2 priorities for the following week, things that you feel like you need to focus on, and you might want to ask them follow-up questions or their input on it. And 1 new idea for your team or for your company. Can be a small thing. 2 wins, 2 priorities, 1 new idea for your manager. Ideally, every 2 weeks when you should have your one-to-one. I know that it might be different from people to people. Try to adapt as you feel right to you, but this will be my challenge for you to start doing on your one-to-ones. Use your time with your manager wisely. And once you've gathered great feedback, you created your own opportunities, you are visible, you expanded your network at your organization because you are helping others, even outside your team. You are the go-to person. Then you want to start working on your promotion case. And you want to be clear on the skills that you need to develop to qualify for the promotion that you want. So let's say you want to become senior. What are the skills that you need to develop to qualify for the promotion? Try and have your manager answering these questions. What do you need? And what outcomes do you need to demonstrate to show that you are ready for the role? Again, something that your manager should try and help you figure it out. How do you know you're ready? What are the things that you need to show them that you are ready? What projects should you be contributing or starting to achieve that outcome? So you want to get these questions answered to be able to then build up your promotion case. And if the skills, if your manager tells you that you have the skills, it feels like you're ready, then it's time for you to create that document. Your promotion case, a document that outlines what have you done, what are the results that you delivered, and the impact that you had on your team or on your company. I'm going to show you or share with you a couple of things that I used for my own promotion case. And these are the sort of questions that I answered, what I did, the results, and the impact. And I'm going to use the examples that I used before around the opportunities that I created. So what I did, I co-host the presentation skills meetup, and I explained the results, created a safe space for engineers to practice their presentations, and the impact, help enhance their public speaking. And also we had this group of very engaging people who are really helping with everyone who comes and presents, increasing their abilities to present. Then the podcast, I brought the idea and we launched it. And the plan is to get stakeholders, important people in there. So we want to talk with great engineers, maybe heads and directors of engineering, and show everyone the great tech initiatives that we have at our company. And for example, the I Am Remarkable workshop. So I managed to run it in my team. I had very positive feedback, and I am now trying to organize with HR to roll it out to the whole organization. Right. So to sort of summarize the steps that you need to get to that promotion or the next step or whatever it is for you. Let's be honest, you have to over-deliver. You have to work hard. You can't escape this. You have to exceed expectations. You might want to get there by supporting your team, solve your team's problems, your colleagues' problems. Then you want to also help people in other teams solving their problems. This is when you expand your impact, not only in your team, but also the whole organization, and you start to build up your reputation and your network. In the process, you want to stay kind because as you over deliver and you're the go-to person, you might start feeling like you are best and you're great, and you are, but you have to still treat everyone with respect. You want to build strong relationships and maintain a positive attitude, even when time passes and nothing happens. Even if you over-deliver and you help everyone, sometimes it just doesn't happen. Sometimes it just takes a long time. And that's when you should be patient and persistent. Sometimes it's even outside of your control. There's no budget this year for raises. The role isn't available. The role you want isn't available at this time. It's just not happening. It can be really frustrating. What you can do, just continue proving your value and keep going. Right, I'm conscious of time. So I have a visualization exercise here, but maybe what I'm going to do is to just challenge you to do this afterwards, after the session. And this exercise would be for you to literally close your eyes and imagine that you were walking on the street and you bumped into yourself from the future. How do you look like? How do you show up? Are you confident? Are you with a big smile on your face? How's your posture? Are you happy? What do you do? How do you dress? And then you want to ask yourself, how did you get there? How did you get there? What did you do to show up so confident? So something for you to, this can be an exercise that might take time. So I challenge you to maybe do it tonight as you do your meditation. You might want to have this visualization exercise where you ask yourself, your future self, your higher self, how did you get there? And to conclude, here are your 7 new habits. And these habits that will help you get to the next level are from this book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So if we want to be high performant, these habits are important. The first one is be proactive. We talked about this. Be proactive, get things done, create your own opportunities, don't ask for permission. Begin with the end in mind. You want to get clear where you want to go and even visualize it to understand how can you get there. Put first things first. You want to prioritize what's important for you and for your career development. Think win-win. When you help others, others will help you. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Listen to other people. Listen to other people's problems. In meetings, listen to everyone's opinions and then say your own opinion at the end. Create synergy. This is where you want to help others. You want to maybe have a mentor or a mentee so you can get help and help others too. Sharpen the saw. In the whole busyness of life, you also want to look after yourself. And this is very important. You want to look after your mental health, your physical health, your emotional health. And this process can be really exhausting when you are day after day high performing, delivering in high standards. It's tiring. So make sure that you balance it out with good rests, holidays, and just remember that work is not everything, and it can, whatever it is, it can be done on the next day if you're tired. So look after yourself in the process. We don't want you to burn out. And the last habit, this is my own. Love who you are. Just love who you are. We are all unique. So celebrate the unique sauce that is you. And that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thanks for sharing your knowledge with us. I actually got a lot of insights. I know that we don't have much time to discuss them, but I hope our participants as well got a lot of insight. And your phrase that absolutely resonates with my attitude towards promotion. It was something like, if you want a promotion, you need to speak up about it, rather than waiting for your manager to come to you with it. And it seems so simple, so logical, but sometimes absolutely hard to understand and hard to apply.
But it takes courage as well. It takes a lot of courage to say, hey, I want to raise. Hey, I want to get there. Because you have self-doubt, and maybe you think other people don't believe in you because you don't believe in you, but you have to get that courage. It's your career, so nobody is going to do it for you. It's your responsibility.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you. So you don't see the chat, so I just wanted to share that we have a lot of attendees at our webinar, including participants from Portugal, from Croatia, from Ukraine, from UK as well, from Poland, Brazil. And also we received many comments about you as the marvelous Anna, and about the useful and helpful tools you've shared with us. So thanks to you, and thanks to all the participants for your kind words and active engagement in the chat. So we don't have much time, but let's move to the key questions. To the questions part. So we have a lot of them, but let's discuss just a few. I'm afraid of getting bad feedback when trying to be visible. Can you share a time you asked for tough feedback? How did you handle it and use it to your advantage? I'm afraid as well.
I'm gonna be honest. Every time I ask for feedback, I sometimes procrastinate to read it because I'm scared of what's there. And perhaps 100% of the times, 99% of the times, everything was okay, everything was good, everything was actually better than I thought it was. So most likely you're doing well. If you're not doing well in your role, you probably should know because your manager have told you. So you should be okay. You should be doing what is needed at least. I can't really think just on the spot of something that some feedback that it was hard to digest. Actually, no, I'm just reminded of a feedback that I've got, which was related to me trying to help someone, but actually that person didn't really ask me for help. So, or I gave feedback to someone and that person just didn't ask for that feedback. So they said, I would appreciate if you just don't give me unsolicited feedback. And I was like, oh, but I just want to help them. What's wrong with them? They were right. If they didn't ask me for feedback, why should I give my opinion if they didn't ask? So you have to be a bit careful to in these situations. I didn't have a bad intention. I just wanted to help them, but they didn't want to. And I had to respect. So that was a good learning, a very good learning. From that moment onwards, I'm much more conscious that, okay, this person is not acting in, I don't really agree with this, but they didn't ask me. I'm not mentoring them. I don't have the obligation to tell them unless they ask me. So I learned from that.
Thank you. Also, we got the question. Thanks, Anna, for sharing some really valuable insights. Thank you. It was very interesting. Thanks for sharing that. That was great and very inspiring. Yeah, absolutely agree with it. And also, we got a question. Is it possible to get a presentation file? Will you share it with us? Yeah, and we will share with a follow-up email with all participants as well. Okay, everyone, it seems like, yeah, we don't have much time to discuss other questions. Thanks a lot. Thanks for being here and taking part in our webinar. And Anna, thanks once again for your so informative presentation, and also for taking time to answer questions. And for many people, you and other women in tech are kind of role models, yeah, showing that anything is possible, and you inspire, you motivate us to keep going toward our goals. So thank you. Thanks a lot.
It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks everyone for your participation. Please don't forget to join our SheStack Community Hub if you haven't already, and we are looking forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.
Bye.